Good evening, we're back, and so is the Premier League. In less than 24 hours' time, Sheffield United will be returning to the Promised Land, and we have all the build-up ahead of the highly anticipated showdown with Crystal Palace right here on SUTV. It's good to be back, and this show is the first in a weekly slot where we'll bring you all the behind-the-scenes updates and news from Bramall Lane and Shirecliffe. Before we hear from Chris Basham, the boss Paul Heckingbottom, and take you inside the club's pre-season training camp in Portugal, I caught up with the club's skipper John Egan earlier this week at the club's media day, and he believes that his and his teammates' previous experience in the Premier League will benefit them this season. Well, Egs, here we are back in the Premier League. Second time round for you experiencing this. Is it different this time round?
Obviously the first time we went up, the majority of us hadn't played in the Premier League before, so it was all really new to us, and we took it by storm, to be fair. But this time we've more experienced squad who've been through the highs of the first season we had and the lows of the second season. But we've regrouped and done really well to have 2 good years in the Championship, and we've earned the right to get back up there now.
Speaking to Chris Basham in the build-up to the opening weekend of the Premier League season, and I'll ask you the same question. How important is the experience that you two have acquired over the years coming into this season, especially when you consider the members of the squad that it's going to be all new for them?
Yeah, I think experience is huge. You can kind of, tell the lads, who haven't experienced it before, what it's going to be like. We're going into the toughest league in the world against, the best players in the world, and it's not until you kind of play in it you realise, how good they are. So you have to play your maximum every single game to try and get points.
Now, Chris Basham is entering his 10th year as a Blade, entering his testimonial year. Again at the club's media day, I caught up with him, and we began by looking back on some of his highlights from the past decade. Well, Bash, here we are, 10th year at Sheffield United, promoted from League One, promoted from the Championship to the Premier League, relegated, promoted again. Over the last decade or so, what stands out most to you?
The promotions are massive. Obviously getting promoted to the big league, the Premier League, and managing to stay in it that time when we did. And the COVID year wasn't great, so I've had all the experiences of not getting off to a good start and doing well. And then obviously the group that we had last year was fantastic, and to get to the playoffs and get beat, and then to take it all the way back to the start of the season and push to know that we wanted to get promoted again, and we managed to do that. It was fantastic, and everybody's ready now for the Premier League again.
How big a role do you feel you've got to play in this squad as well? There's yourself and John Egan and a few others that obviously have been here a while. You've got experience of being in the Premier League, but there are other members of the squad. This is all new to them, so how important is your role?
Yeah, I think this year's the biggest role I'll probably have to play. Just because we've brought in a lot of younger lads, there's a few foreign lads who need to settle down, learn how we play, because it's easy once you know it if you've been here for long enough, but it's hard when you first come in. And just obviously being around the block, I've been around the block a while now, so I understand the Premier League. If you lose 3-4 games, it's not the end of the world. We've just got to make sure the next one's not a defeat, and a draw away from home is massive in the Premier League. So just let the boys know that need to understand things like that.
Now it's the turn of the boss, Paul Heckingbottom. He spoke to the media yesterday and said he's once again looking forward to the chance of competing in the Premier League.
And can you sum up the mood for us ahead of the new Premier League season? What will it mean to walk out at a packed Bramall Lane this weekend?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think if you'd have asked me Monday, maybe wouldn't have been as excited. But it seems like game day today. It seems like we're back in the swing of it. I'm not the best in pre-season anyway. I openly say I'm not the best. It's a means to an end, but I've certainly felt the difference this morning from a personal point of view. How the staff have been working, how we've worked with the players. It's been like a game day -2. We're getting ready to perform, getting ready to play. So I think everyone could feel that little mood change. And it's one thing that I've been looking forward to.
Good luck. Thanks.
Cheers, mate.
Paul, you mentioned there, it's saying it's pointless to focus on negatives and to worry about politics and stuff. Isn't that based around a keenness from the fan base not to squander this opportunity, being back in the Premier League? And are you in the best position possible as a manager to have the best season that you can have now that you're back in the top flight?
Yeah, so you mean like the fans, like the negativity based around the excitement then sort of been knocked out of you type thing? Yeah, listen, I've felt that. But it was always a possibility, do you know what I mean? If we continually talk about that, certainly internally, certainly in my job and the people I'm working with, if we're continually focusing on that or trying to come out of any interview, PR and focusing his attention on how we're looking in the press rather than actually doing his jobs and trying to get players in, that's going to define the season. So I just want everyone's focus now on Palace internally, the staff, the players, Palace, myself, the board, recruitment, players. Yeah, and that's it. That's got to be our focus now. Forget everything that's gone. It's about going forward and attacking this season. And you know what? Yeah, I know the area well enough. I know this club well enough. And usually in times like this, we can surprise a lot of people, And so I'm not scared of it. I'm not fearing what's gone off or dwelling on what's gone off. It's about this game, and this game's one that's exciting me and the players. And from this moment on, from this point on, we should only be getting stronger. And that's if we do the right things.
Now we have a special treat for you. Over pre-season, Premier League Productions filmed a feature-length piece on our preparations for the season. Here's a snippet on how it went.
Sheffield United. The club is the heartbeat of the city.
It's called the Steel City for a reason.
It's a very hard-working, working-class city.
It's the home of football. It's a two-club city, Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday.
The fans are tough to play against, they're electric and they do give you that real edge.
If it's a 3 o'clock kick-off, the supporters are in the stadium at 12 o'clock.
For us to be at Bramall Lane, 30-odd thousand, every seat full, singing the Greasy Chick Butty song as the game kicks off.
To be him! Oh my word! Precise and to the point.
European football is really honing into view now.
It's raised the roof of Bramall Lane. What a big win this is going to be for Sheffield United.
Tonight is the night back into the big time.
Sheffield United back in the Premier League.
Right, let's get ready. This morning then, boys, you warm up, a little bit on the balls, and we're going to split you into the teams for tomorrow, OK? While one's doing a five-a-side, other one's with me doing just a little bit of us in possession, then we'll change, then we come together for a little bit of out-possession work, all right? Just our shape. Then that's it, that's the morning, OK? All yours, mate. Where are you, Tom? Let's go, boys. Any successful team, whether that's a sports team, business, anyone who's successful, you've got to be invested in each other. And we have to lead that and deliver that message all the time. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, not you, 5, probably Oppo 6, just to stand for me as bodies. Okay. It's in the passing. Trips like this and times like this can help build that. Because when people talk about teams and teamwork, they'll generally only speak about the players, but there's a team that drives the team, and we focus heavily on that as well. Macca, you, Jack and Dukey drive the 5-0s then, because I'll need the staff for the... I'm just going to have them stood still.
Yeah, no, listen, if you need any more, I'm all right.
No.
Take Jack if you need, I'll have Dukey, or take Dukey if you want him to do.
No, I'll just take these boys.
He knows the game, he's intellectual. He finished, I think early 30s through injury. But nobody sees that side of it. They see now Paul Egan, manager of Barnes or Leeds or at Hibs, and obviously at Sheffield United now. But the work that he put into it, and he's very studious about the game, very intellectual about the game.
Right. If he's 5 yards higher and he gets under any sort of pressure and he needs to go long, he'll turn their back 4 or back 5. Does that make sense to you?
He sees the game really well. I think tactically, in game,
I think he's outstanding. He's the best I've seen at that in terms of stuff going on the pitch and an adjustment with a formation. And he's very quick to see it and act.
And you can watch the full feature-length special on our official YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us, Blades fans, and we'll see you again next week ahead of the Forest game.